All right, now let's string together a little reading here and see what we're going to see. Now look, just make the decision that the reading's for you and use what you can from it. The Aloneness card comes out to remind us that we are utterly alone. Haha. Now look, I'm just kidding, but not really. Check it out. As that spiritual being, okay, there's only one. Think about what I'm saying. There's just one God, one source, one light, one universe, uni. Now look, this thing, this creative thing, this intelligent Father, this God thing, this spirit, whatever word you want to use, this light, it has entered into the world through a person called you. So it is the only entity, it is the only living thing. And now it has breathed its life into you and me and your neighbor and everybody else. But we are utterly alone in that respect, that there's just one big being, one big consciousness that is now living out 7 billion little lives, and one of them is yours, one of them is mine. Now, as we are going along on this lone journey, we are seeing here that the person looks all old. Why? Because the being is as old as time. Think about it. What lives inside of you is the same thing that lived inside of Jesus, the same thing that lived inside of the very first person on earth. It is the same conscious, spiritual, intelligent observer, spirit that's within, that awareness that's within. So that's why it's depicted as old. Now it's got the green heart chakra staff here. Why? Because when we know we are that spiritual being, it's going to be easy for us to face the edge of life. That's what we're seeing down here. We walk forward every day. This is what it looks like outside your house. Doesn't look like you think. It looks like this. It looks like we're constantly walking to the edge of time in our eternal moment of here and now. And as we walk on faith that everything is going to work out. When we step off the edge of that cliff, there's going to be more land that just appears there. And isn't that really how it is? I mean, like, you go downstairs, you go outside, and then there's a road there, or there's a door there, or there's a whatever out there. And the things just appear when you show up for it. So know that you're going to be safe and protected, or really just know that your life is a never-ending unfolding experience that you alone are the consciousness inside of. Now, that's good news because there's no enemy or no opponent. Nobody can really prevent whatever you truly believe and vote for up here. And that's an important thing, to be able to know that we are that light of the world. The other thing we see here is all the darkness around here. Know that everything that you do and say is bringing light and bringing energy and bringing creativity into the darkness of the world of the here and now. The last thing we want to see here is all that blue there. That light blue is just our words. So we want to understand that it's important the way we describe things and the way that we take actions, because those are the things that are kind of getting built in to our little ledge here that's expanding, our expanding day-to-day life. Let's take another card. The Aloneness card. That sucks. But you know, you have fellowship with other people. Other people are spiritually awake, or they know their identity as a spirit. And you have fellowship with other selves, people that are there to spend some time with. You can enjoy them. So we're never really alone, although we are alone. The next card is the Let Loose. Okay. Now look, this is going to allow us. This looks a little like scary and, very dry. But this one shows like what it's like more in the world as the green heart chakra. See that green right there? She's wearing the green dress now. That means that as we go through our moment by moment life, we are celebrating and dancing and letting loose and glowing, bringing all the wisdom of purple down into the world. Look at all the joy houses with the yellow and the orange. We're creating structures, homes for ourselves and others to kind of play around in here. And look, you're the biggest one in the scene. Why? That's not about your ego being big. No, it's the green heart chakra feather girl. That's you as that spiritual being inside of the human called you. You're always going to be the one that wins the vote, because you're the only voter and builder of the city of your personal life. So that's what it really looks like when we get off this cliff. It looks like this, moment by moment. So you want to let loose, relax, let it go, let it flow. Know that you're going to be given in the moment all the energy, all the words, and the right things to do and say to expand your reality and your moment day by day. So let's take another card. Oh, so we're utterly alone, but it's okay because we are a spiritual being having a 7 billion human experience, 7 billion different humans experiencing. And we're kind of excited because our personal life is unique and unlike everyone else's. So we're just going to let loose, no enemy, nothing to worry about. Our vote is the one that matters because we're the only conscious being in our life. Here's the facade card. Why? Because, okay, so this isn't a bad thing, but some of the facade is that before we knew ourselves as this spiritual being, before we knew that, we were kind of came into the world as a kid and we looked towards our parents or towards our elders or towards history or towards society to be able to kind of get our head up above the clouds, okay? And that wasn't a bad thing. Look, the joy of childhood, you can see it with all the yellow. It was a beautiful thing. We created bonds and it was wonderful. And in a way, they were helping us to form a personal self in the world that could survive so that it could then mature. You can see it here, maturing into that spiritual self that can now be a trailblazer, letting loose and bringing new things into the world. Now look, the time had to come though that this is the facade, meaning that we had to put away childish things, meaning we had to put ourselves down, not like put yourself down. No, we had to like let ourselves go. We had to let ourselves lose ourselves, so that we could find our true identity as that spirit and then be able to walk that lone path, expanding life. And then we'll come back with our head above the clouds and we'll pass it on to some other children, other people who are maybe haven't recognized their identity yet as that spiritual being. And we will, hold their hand a little bit, care for them, and we will show them about the joy of life as well. So we're just doing our best to foster this as we pass on what we know to others in the world, to keep this 7 billion faced spiritual being in business, bringing more and more light into the world. And the nice thing about it is, look, we're up here next to the tree of life. So everyone's got their branches on this tree of life. So everyone is valuable. Everyone makes a difference. And we want to know that everybody has that 100% self-worth. And we want to convey that above everything when we're interacting with them. Even if we don't like their behaviors or their words or whatever, even if they're a little obstinate or stubborn or whatever, we still want to be able to have that connection because they really are us. They really are you as that spiritual being having another type of human experience. So let's take another card and see what this is going to lead us to next. Life isn't so bad at all because we are getting hooked up left and right. Your personal life is a gift. It is unlike anyone else's. And it's all about participating on a regular basis. Participating with, there's that yellow joy, and participating with, there's that orange creativity. Knowing that you are this chakra being. That's why we see them here. Green heart chakra, using our blue throat chakra words, bringing in that yellow joy, and having that red material world expanding. Regular maintenance on this day at a time is going to bring all that light into the blossom of our day-to-day life. And so it's just about participating in these different facets of our life on a regular basis and knowing that we are growing like a flower in the world. Let's take even another card from this complicated deck. Ooh, this will be fun. Where is this going to take us next? All right. The independence card. Well, that makes sense because we started off independent and alone, and now we are independent and emancipated. Above the world, we are, again, above the world. We've been trained or passed on, or we've learned enough to let ourselves go and then to take on this yellow priestess identity of this one who can shape the world in the way that he or she is inspired to. So this is really a beautiful space to be. You're going to be living in a world that is independent and is continuing to expand. And we can see another picture of it here. And in a way, this is really the divine masculine and the divine feminine. She is that light and that emotion. He is that logic and the words. And the two of them together create a beautiful world. Beautiful world. See, if it was just him, the world would look all crappy like this because it would just be so dry and just so like barren. But with her creative light, then they can really bring this great texture, bring to life all the ideas that come in with the words. And the two of them participate together to really make a world worth living in. Let's get one more card out of this reading, see where we're going to end up, and close it out. Pulling it from this deck, and what's it going to be? It looks like the everlasting life, of course. So that's what we're doing here. We are perpetuating, as an individual conscious spiritual being, God inside of mankind. We are perpetuating by letting loose, by bringing new stuff into the world. We are expanding through passing on our knowledge and passing on our experiences to others. We are keeping it going in this way. We are independent agents contributing to the tree of white light, never-ending, everlasting life. It's such a beautiful thing. Look at all those hearts that are on there. One of them's yours. Continue on your path. Know you are special and valuable, one of a kind, never before. So good. No, there's no enemy, because there's just one God, one source, or one universe living inside 7 billion different people. One of them's you. Use your divine masculine words and your divine feminine emotion to imagine and feel what you want to believe in. Let it go and watch it grow as you participate on your inspired ideas and your inspired actions along your day-to-day life. Take care. Thanks for being a part of this reading. Go ahead and share the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Pull down the little notification bell. Thanks for being a part of all of this. I'll see you again tomorrow. Goodbye. Hey there, you. Welcome back to another spiritual oracle card reading. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Now look, just set your intention that you're only going to hear the things that are for your highest good. You're not going to be coerced. This stuff is not going to run your life. None of that. What's going to happen is the information is going to come in and you're going to have an experience with it. Just like any information that we would become aware of in our personal life. So you can just make the decision that it's going to be all right, and then you'll see. Things will work out for the best. Let's get started. The first card that comes out is the balance card. The first reminder it's giving us is the emotional balance. When we are dealing with other people who are sometimes unhappy with our behaviors, or they're unhappy with their own behaviors, there can be a little bit of an emotional back and forth. And that's when we really want to be in our white light, balanced space. What's that mean? That means pausing, taking a breath, remembering who you are as that conscious spiritual being living inside of a mental and emotional self. This way you're going to be able to deal with a little bit of teeter-tottering that you're going to need to do by balancing your words and your emotions. Now the card suggests that we have all this purple around here. That is the wisdom crown chakra. So we're going to be, when we're balanced, we're going to be able to sort of just intuitively draw on the wisest things that we're given in the moment to say and do. And this is going to be really the best recipe for being able to handle life on life's terms on a day-by-day, moment-by-moment basis. Now the other thing we see here is that this is about us as an individual. Look, the different parts of our makeup spiritually. The blue is our throat chakra. So we want to make sure that we are continuing to be mindful about how we're using our words. Our words have an impact depending on the emotions that we back them with. And just the things that we say in general. Sometimes we have to say things in a few different ways in order to get our point across. That way the people that we're communicating with won't be disgruntled or misunderstanding. Now the second part of us is the green heart chakra. This is our pure spiritual identity in the world. Do we know that we are a spiritual being having a human experience? Have we accepted that? Or are we being stubborn about that? Or is it, accidentally, are we just not really aware of that because we are so involved in the personal storylines or the emotions or the relationships in our day-to-day regular life? So give a little more time, a little balanced time to remembering that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. Now look, any video on my channel here is going to help remind you of that and recognize your identity as a spirit. which can only serve to give you more of that balance, more of that back here space that we see to be able to handle life in the moment in a spontaneous, intuitive, creative way. And that's what the third one here is. This brown or orange is really the creative sacral chakra. Now that's going to be the part of us that we want to make sure we're renewing and allowing ourselves to think outside of the box, to think beyond what we've always done, to think beyond what everybody else always says is the way to do it. Now, there's nothing wrong with what they're saying, but remember, you are an individual conduit of the light that is coming into the world. Nobody else is going to be able to see, describe, act, and be exactly like you. So you want to continue to renew your heart and mind, renew your words, renew your actions based on those creative, inspired thoughts. Let's take another card. Ooh, the balance card. Feels a little balanced today. I've slowed down on the coffee. I feel a little like, but maybe not. Maybe it's just a little bit of a mellowness. Let's see. Let's take this next card. Aw, it's ripening. What a great thing. So, as we are bringing that balance in, ooh, you can see a little reflection off the card here, the light. Then we are going to have these four components of us, boom, 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 all ripening and ready for us to just pluck. Now that means that the material world, that's the root chakra color, our material world of circumstances is ripe for the picking or ripe for the sweetness. And all of the purple is going to be that wisdom coming down with it. And all the yellow is the joy coming along with it. So when we put ourselves in this balanced position, we really are in the best position to be able to cultivate good fruits from the tree of our personal life. And you can see the green heart chakra again here is flourishing, where it looks a little stubborn over here. We've opened up and we've learned how to incorporate all of the parts of our spiritual body, our voice, our creativity, our spiritual nature, and that white light balance with the emotions and the words. So this just looks like a wonderful time. Things are really starting to blossom now. It feels like we're moving into a different stage, one where we have that empowered space where we've sort of have gotten a little quieter and a little more mindful, a little more balanced, and a little more prepared through our own experiences to be able to bring that light into the world more and more. The persistence card. So because of the efforts that we have continued to make, we have been able to really get into this autumn. You can see all this colors of the autumn coming in. And our heart is now purple, meaning that we've got wisdom flowing, like we talked about in that first card, nearly all the time. What a wonderful thing to be always taking direction from your wise mind, your inspired thought mind, be able to bring it into the tree of life, to be able to continue to bring that orange creativity, that fire of joy, and to be able to, you can see the writing on the back here, to be able to write with our words in creative ways. So this is a full picture. Persevere through these things, through the spiritual identity, through your practices, through your communications with others. Persevere. And that way you're going to be able to really blossom into this mature spiritual experience, which then, of course, will hit another winter and you'll recycle it again and again. Remember, we keep getting renewed and more just practice at it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's more about showing up a day at a time, being wide awake and aware. But the core is always going to be knowing your identity as a spiritual being, having a human experience. Let's pull one more card and see what we see. So balance is really the main thing, balancing out our spiritual chakras, our spiritual gifts, our words, our emotions, our heart, our identity. Whoa! So that we can be that helpful person in the world to ourselves and to others. Someone wants to help you, think who it might be and initiate contact. You know what it feels like here is that you want to be helpful to yourself. So initiate contact with all of the different facets of yourself, that spiritual being and the little spiritual expressions of you in the world. Then you will be really getting onto that tree of ripeness to help yourself at any time. Now the three of them are here because these represent our threefold nature as who we really are. We are really a spiritual being, a human being, and then the two of them combined. Spiritual, human, and the two combined. And that makes us the most helpful person in the world because you can see that we are being true as who we are. as that white light coming into the world. Now you can see these represent the divine masculine, our words, and the divine feminine, our light, as they operate as a spiritual being inside your personal life. And some other people might not like it when you talk about spiritual things. Just let them know. Hey, we're a twofold being, spiritual and physical, and now we are combined into this new type of a creation, the renewing of our lives on a day-to-day basis. That's the end of the reading. On the way out, we're going to pull one little last card as an inspiration. Let's see what it's going to be. Coming from this New Orleans deck, what's it going to be on the way out? We've got the Make-A-Wish. And this is perfect because here's your yellow wand and your star that you're bringing down. You can make your wishes onto the canvas. There's the painting frame canvas of your life. You can stir it up with your words. That's what that blue is. And you're going to see that all that starlight, all that joy light's going to come down and start to paint the circumstances of your life to be that wisdom purple. You can see it down here too. And that green heart chakra combining together to make a spiritual reality in your personal life. That's your reading. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Like the video if you haven't liked it. Share the video if you'd like to share it. Go ahead and rewatch it or watch some of the other videos on my channel. The more watch time I get at this point, the more people we can reach. So run through some of the videos and even put them in the background and play them. Whatever. Just feel free to make use of my channel any way you're inspired to. I'll see you again tomorrow. Okay, now, my name is Brian Nesline. I'm going to read some spiritual cards for you. Remember, this is for you. None of us are in the wrong place at the wrong time. No. We're always in divine time. You can just accept this or decide this. That's how it'll be then. Why not? That way you won't have to feel like you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. Just decide you're in the right place at the right time all the time. And then if you're receptive to that, the receptivity card, that's how it'll be. See all the little wires, light wires that are coming in? These are all the little chain of events or the little, just the little scenes or scenarios that are happening in our personal life. Think about it, like all day long, there's all these different things that are occurring. And they are all just light moving into the world, into our personal experiences. So we might be like talking to a neighbor, but really that's light moving through us. Oh, we might be like driving down the road, but that's more light coming into the world. We are a receptive point for the light to come into the world and to just continue to expand the universe. Okay, now look. This right here, this blue down button, this is saying, let's play it down, meaning let's bring it down, meaning let's know that we are always bringing light down into the world through our words and our actions and our interactions and our personal life. Look at our personal life as a light machine, as a light play. And that way we're going to be above the black and white, negative and positive that seems to unfold. That way, any uncomfortable situations are going to be buffered or a little softened because ultimately we're going to see our life as this spiritual experience unfolding. The other thing about the receptivity card is we want to be receptive to the new ideas that are coming into our mind. Now, how are we going to do that? Sometimes we're in a blank space, and when that happens, we just want to be quiet, consciously aware, and ready to make new connections. That's what you see all here with the light lines. They're all making these different types of connections that are going to bubble up into this lotus of a new idea. The little crown, boom, boom, boom. When that happens, you'll feel that wave of vibration through your body, and you'll be like, oh, I'm having an epiphany. I'm having a new idea. I have an option I want to contribute. Stuff like that. So stay receptive to that light and that inspiration, because that's really what we want to be following, being true to ourselves, following our inspired thoughts and ideas, being that one that can speak their truth. So beautiful. Love this card, especially that right there. Oh, so good. Now look, we want to be able to speak our truth. That's what the receptivity card is showing here. All that blue then becomes our voice box, and it becomes our mind thought. We want to be able to have those as the butterflies that come out. It's just illustrating that as we are embracing this identity as a spiritual being, having the human experience, our life is going to be colored in a much different way. Not going to be so black and white, good and bad. It's going to be a variety represented by the butterflies. So it's a whole different dimension to life to live on this variety experience rather than on the good versus bad experience or black versus white experience. So at that point, you're going to really feel like you can speak your truth, meaning that you know that you are a unique expression of God, source, universe in the world. And as a result, it's important to just be who you are. And that way, you just are going to be playing your role as that divine being having the human experience. The other thing is, you'd be surprised, these butterflies, they go out and they land on flowers and then they pollinate them. And that means that they're going to go out and affect other people's consciousness space. They're going to be bringing things into the world that weren't brought in before. And they're going to be expanding light in ways that weren't expanded before. And you're going to be impacting people in ways you may never know. Ways that are beautiful, wonderful, magical. But it will always be up to those other people to be able to pull the good or pull the light or pull the constructive stuff out of whatever you express. So just remember, it's safe to speak your truth, and it's important to be who you are and to speak your truth, whatever that might be, whatever you're inspired to. Let's pull another card. Ooh, so we're receptive to the light. We are light bringers. We're bringing light into the world. Our personal lives are not just little stories of superficial stuff like we maybe first thought. They really are a playground for the light to come in and for the universe to expand. Here we go. The transformation card comes out. As we are speaking our truth, you can see it here in the body. It is really this tree of life that is transforming our personal life in a way that's miraculous. It's adding all of the leaves, that's the butterflies, all the different colorful leaves to the tree of life. And there we are with the writing in the background, speaking our truth to people, places, and things around us. The reading is really just reminding us over and over, be receptive to being a spiritual being. Know that you are bringing light into the world with every interaction. This allows you to rise above the good and bad of life. And now you don't have to really worry because there's no real enemy. We're really more about speaking our truth and adding a variety into the world. Speaking our truth can mean taking actions in a certain way as well. Not just talking, but also doing certain things. Then know that you're just going to continue to add to the tree of life for everybody to be able to feed on. And the sunlight is there, always granting an increase. As you do your part, God, Source, Universe will just continue to expand it. Let's look at one more card in this little reading, see what we can see from the Mermaid and Dolphin deck. What's coming out for us now related to this is, go ahead and simplify your life. And isn't that what we're doing? We are simply a spiritual being having a human experience. Every interaction we have brings light into the world. We speak our truth. We do what we're inspired to do and say. As we do that, we can do it in a calm way, in a clear way. We know we have a right to be here, just like everyone else. In fact, it's an honor to be able to, the light is honored to be able to use us to put light and new things, new words, new combinations of activities into the world. It's really expanding the universe. You're that important. Yes. And when I say you, what I'm talking about is the spiritual being that you are and your personal life. It says here, eliminate clutter from your home and work life to balance the flow of activities. Clutter, yeah. Clutter in thinking about the good and the bad of stuff, the worries, that type of clutter, fears. Get rid of that type of clutter from your house of your consciousness, because there's no enemy, there's nothing against us, there's just us speaking our truth and bringing light into the world. Oh, one little last card before we go. See what we're going to see, and then we'll end this reading. We've got for us, boom, the joy card, and this is really where it all ends up. If you're speaking your truth as that receptive being, then you in the world are being this joyful sunflower bringer. There's all the light coming through, and you are blossoming all the time. That yellow is the joy color, and it's a beautiful experience to have. So, well, enjoy yourself. Enjoy your reality. Enjoy being a light bringer. Enjoy knowing that you are 100% self-worth, that there's not another like you, and that there never will be. Everything you say and do is expanding the universe. It's a beautiful thing. Take care. Go ahead and like the video. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Leave me some comments if you like. Ask some questions if you feel you're inspired to. Whatever. And I will see you again in another video. Take care.